Hello! This week we are going to learn all about Queen Esther. Once there was a young girl named Esther. Her cousin Mordecai worked for the king. When Esther's parents died, she went to live with her cousin in the palace. Esther learned new things, wore dazzling clothes, and grew into a beautiful young woman. When the king saw Esther, he said, "I am so happy. I want you to wear this crown and be my queen." Now Esther and Mordecai were Jews, and many people did not like Mordecai or the Jewish people. But the king was a wise man, and he always listened to what Mordecai and Esther had to say. One of the men who did not like Mordecai was a very proud man named Haman. One day the king said, "I am giving Haman a special job, and because he is so important, everyone should kneel and bow down to him." This made Haman happy because he thought a lot of himself. But Mordecai knew that God was the only one that he should bow down to. When Haman saw that Mordecai wouldn't bow to him, he was so mad. And when he learned that Mordecai was a Jew, he was even madder. "This isn't right," Haman said. "I am going to punish Mordecai and all of the Jewish people." Haman saw that the king loved Esther and that he listened to Mordecai, and this also made him angry. Haman knew that they were Jews, and so he planned for all of the Jews to be killed. But Esther was smarter than Haman. "I have found out something very important," Esther told the king while they were eating at a banquet. She told him of Haman's plan to kill all of the Jews. When Esther told the king that Mordecai was her cousin and that they were both Jews, the king wasn't mad at her. Because the king loved Esther so much, he gave Mordecai the job that Haman had before. "Here is my ring for you to wear," the king said to Mordecai. "Write a message to all of the Jews in my name and seal the letters with my ring." The letters that Mordecai wrote to the people all across the land, and they celebrated with music, feasting, and dancing. "Hooray for Queen Esther," the people cheered. "Because the king loves her, we are saved." I love when we get a chance to talk about Queen Esther, and I want to point out something in the story. Let's just go back and remember this part where Haman says everybody should bow down to him. And Mordecai says, "No, we shouldn't. The only person we should bow down to is God." I love that Mordecai teaches us and reminds us just how important God is, and that God is really all that we should bow down to. Now, I love Queen Esther. She was brave, she was kind, she loved her family so much. And so this is a really great story to read. Now this week, after you listen to the story, there are lots of great challenges for you to do. We have our coloring page, we have the activity pages to do. But then you can also take time and research a famous queen in history and then tell Mr. Bryant about them in a video. You could create a family seal with things that represent your family, kind of like what Mordecai did. And then you can complete this challenge. On here we have a challenge to make a mask about someone in the story, and as your special video challenge, I want you to take that even further. It's Halloween this week, and so some of you will be dressing up for Halloween. And so after you make your mask for whichever character you'd like to choose, find some different items around the house and create a whole costume. After you've made your costume, you can have your parents take a picture of you and send it to Mr. Bryant. You could act out a scene from the story. That might be kind of cool. And if you have brothers and sisters at home, maybe everyone could be somebody different and you could act out the whole story. I bet if someone does that, they might even get some bonus points for it. Have fun with this story. Learn a little bit more about Queen Esther and about Mordecai, and we will see you next week.